half as the second half this past Saturday on the defensive side?
Yeah, the contrast, first half bad, second half good, in simpler terms, but definitely just, trying to find ourselves during the game. Seems kind of been the theme, at least from the defense, a lot this year. And we look at it two different ways. One, like, why can't we come out a little bit faster? And obviously that's going to be something that we really work on these next couple of weeks. And secondly, it's good that we're responding, that we're able to make those corrections and, put them to work on the field. So obviously, grateful for the win more than anything. And, it's good to go into the bye week knowing we can get a little bit extra work in.
Do you have a feel for how much the revolving door of injuries and attrition on defense has contributed to the not having as much consistency as you would like, I guess, in your eyes?
Well, for me, I think it's really more of a positive, and I say that to say the comparison to last year. I think there was that kind of revolving door you speak of, but just not the same results. And I think that, we can't ever control injuries, and then a lot of the guys are committed, to their body, their nutrition, and just trying to be healthy week in and week out. But the guys who are stepping in are stepping up and are playing winning football. Obviously, there's some performances that guys will wish they had a little bit better. But if I compare it to last season when we had much more bigger injury problems, like that door was revolving a lot faster for us. We're sitting here 8-0, so pleased in that manner. But obviously, want to be able to continue to build the knowledge, in our depth in all positions. And so that definitely speaks to a couple of the inconsistencies we're having for sure. But like I said, definitely a better step, from where we were last year.
What are some maybe the other issues that you feel like have kept this defense from being consistent and putting it all together for for 4 quarters?
Yeah, I've been asked that question so many times, probably in the last few weeks, and just whether it be you guys, coaches, parents, whatever. And for the most part, it's been I don't know as much as I'd love to be able to pinpoint the exact problem, because then we'd attack it. I can't really speak to it. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably between the ears, for a lot of the guys. And I think for us, it's going to be taking what we learned through the week and really just applying it from the get-go. I think, especially in this past game, like, we knew Schrader was a great dual threat quarterback and really loved to run the ball. Like, that was something that was not in question, and the coaches did a great job preparing us for that during the week. But it seemed like it took us until halftime to kind of like believe it with our own eyes, as a defense. And I think that's where, if, I had to try and pinpoint that, exact issue, I think that's kind of where we have to just trust what we've been studying all week and trust, we're about to be 9 games in now, 9 weeks in. We'll get some nuances because, people are trying to beat us, but I mean, people are who they are at this point in the season. So we really got to trust the preparation and have confidence from that. I think that's kind of where we have to grow as a defense. So if that's the case, then obviously having 2 weeks to prepare for, a good Notre Dame team will definitely help us.
After Schrader scored that their third touchdown, the second offensive, you were really animated on the sidelines. You and DeAndre and a lot of people talking. What were you saying? What point were you wanting to get across right there?
Yeah, really, it was just I knew we could play better, including myself. I knew that we were just dropping the ball, as far as some of our responsibilities, and that's just not us. It felt like in the first half, both sides of the ball, obviously, they did a great job of capitalizing on our mistakes, but the mistakes were coming from us, and we knew that. Really, more than anything, it was just trying to find some energy on the sideline. Positive or negative, however you want to see it. It brought a little boost. You know what I'm saying? So, and we've been to battle as a defense through much thicker issues. So a little fire, a little spark won't ever hurt this group. And obviously we grew from that moment. So we're all competitors. We want to win. We want to shut everybody out. That's our goal. So anytime, we start to deviate from that, frustration is going to come. So that's all it was, but it was all towards a better goal.
And I look, and the freshman quarterback's getting ready to go out on the field. I'm used to seeing 5 in the offensive huddle, but not your 5. What were you doing? What did you say? What did you go out there to what kind of message?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't have no idea he was going out there. I was just in there trying to hype everybody up and tell the offense keep pushing. We're with you. And that's funny you say that because I'm going back to the sideline and I hear the crowd getting loud and I'm like, oh, I guess they're back in the game and I'm like, oh, K-10. I had no idea. Wasn't an issue at all. Obviously. DJ spoke to it. We needed that spark, and K definitely has that ability. The player he is as well. So it wasn't surprising me. It wasn't a problem at all. He did a great job.
I guess with all the close games you've had this year, how many more times have you found yourself using your voice and having to get in there, get in people's faces, say something?
You got to ask me about it. Getting in people's faces isn't really me. That's not really how I go about business. Which it works for some. That's just not how I go. So that was definitely out of the usual for me this weekend. But like I said, I think it was positive. But that's all. I feel like I only speak when it's needed. Don't want to be a guy who's just talking for no reason. But definitely want to be heard. When I speak. So. I think as a team, as a defense, like I said, we're taking steps in the right direction. A lot of close games, you're right, but we ended up on the right side of them. And, there's that frustration that's had and we really want to blow people out, really want to dominate our opponents, but then there's that appreciation of just winning, right? And it wasn't this time last year where I would have done about anything to be 8-0, and I haven't forgotten that version of myself and that version of this team. So definitely appreciative that we just keep ending up on the right side of this thing for sure.
Saturday was another one of those battle-tested games. How do you feel like it helps mold this team into this, and what will be this final stretch of the season?
Resilient, man. I said that after the Wake Forest game, and that's what I found out about these guys, the whole team. I mean, as I alluded to a little bit on social media, like seeing their defense, rightfully so, hadn't gotten so many turnovers, but on the field dancing, right? Like that just put me in a confident mindset from our perspective because I knew what this team was already made of. Like it's going to be all the way until the clock hits 0, until we done fighting. And so when you get that sense of a team maybe thinking they got us beat before it's over, it gives you a little bit more confidence. And that's what I know from these guys, man. Is they're gonna fight to the end, regardless of what the scoreboard is saying. So it's been pleasing. You go into the last stretch of the season. When some teams are tiring out, some teams are really looking at their record, if they're gonna make a bowl, how it's gonna work out in the postseason. We're just gonna keep balling, keep trying and striving to get better, and really trying and find our best ball, in this home stretch.
In this final part of the season, how important do you think it is to get that bye week before the final stretch?
Very important. I'm about to take so many naps this week. It's about to be amazing now, but just getting to work on us, obviously, Notre Dame's the next opponent, but I'll be honest with you, I'm really spending this next week on focusing on myself, becoming better and just us growing as a defense. It's not even worried about the opponent, worried about the little things, the fundamentals, and the things the coach was going to harp on, just fixing the small things. I think it's coming at the right time, for us. And like I said, obviously about to have a good road test in Notre Dame, so that's much needed for sure.
KJ, what have you seen from Wes Goodwin throughout this progress of this season?
He's been a rock star. Honestly, he's been a rock star. And when I speak to earlier about us as a defense and having to do a better job of just trusting our preparation, I'm really speaking about Wes and just the position he put us in to be successful. Like we have to trust his plan. I could tell in the game that it was his plan to really, towards the end of the stretch, make sure Schrader was holding the ball a lot and keeping it out of Tuck's hands because obviously, he had a great game up to that point. So that's just all him, and it has to be, on our shoulders to just carry out the game plan. And obviously it worked out in the right way. So he's been great. He's for my personal accolades and whatnot. He's helped me, become a better player. Be more confident in myself. Since day one, he stepped in this position. Just told me to be me and get to the quarterback. However you see fit. Him speaking, that confidence in me has definitely helped me as a player. So we talk a lot on just schemes and different things that we can do during the week, you know, to apply pressure and you know, get to the quarterback. And it's just great to know that, you know, he's on our side and, you know, trying to allow us to make plays. He's been awesome. He's been awesome.
Has he changed much at all? Is he a little bit more fiery at times?
Yeah, he can be. He'll get after you now. He's definitely grown into that role as far as being the alpha, you know, of the defense. And the respect has always been there for sure. But you know, there's definitely the times where, you know, we need to get our butts chewed out for sure. We definitely have earned it a few times these past few weeks. So I wouldn't say he's changed. Just say, you know, he's evolving, but he's still himself for sure.
You talked about wanting to shake things up on the sideline and sort of stepping out of your comfort zone to try to get some emotion. Does this defense have fewer personalities like that than it has in recent years?
Personalities probably fewer, yeah, but that doesn't take away from the leadership. A lot of guys on this defense who just are lead by example guys, and you know, as a good follower, you have to do a great job of paying attention to those leading by example. You know, people are going to lead in their own different ways, and definitely not as vocal as a defense that we've had, but the leadership qualities are definitely still there. And like I said, a lot of the guys do a great job of just filling out situations and knowing when to speak up, knowing when something's off. So yeah, just a little different feel, but not necessarily a negative thing. Just, you know, different reports for sure.
A lot of players learn from each other, little things. What do you learn from Rook?
From Rook?
Yeah.
I learned to bring that energy. That's what I learned from Rook. Speaking of someone who's going to, you know, he's 100 miles a minute every play he gets, and I learned to bring that energy for sure. I think, you know, for myself, I try to be a guy to bring energy, but there's definitely some days where it's tough, and I feed off Rook. He's definitely someone who helps me. I know when I get into some of those days, I'm definitely leaning on him, you know, to help build me up. So he's been great, man. You ask anybody on the defense, he's somewhat of the spark of this defense, the unsung hero, if you will. So he's definitely helped us, and obviously helped himself. Been playing good ball this year. Just excited to see, you know, how he's been working in the offseason. So I'm really happy to see how he's come along.
I know that you're a thoughtful guy, so if you spend any time thinking about, hey, if we make it even to a national championship, I've only got 7 games left, I've only got so many working man Wednesdays and focus Thursdays left, it's all kind of limited.
Yeah, I definitely, that's been the thought since this year, you know, it started, just appreciating everything. There's not too many people get multiple, like, senior days, so I kind of took a good trial run last year as far as, you know, how to, you know, appreciate the roses and everything, but things as small as just seeing the fans as I drive into the stadium, you know, really getting to watch the support, seeing the, you know, hearing the crowd, 80,000 strong. Like, that's not, seeing some of the games this past, you know, weekend, that's not everybody's environment at all. It's somewhat sad that not every, you know, college athlete gets to experience something like that. Even if you're an away team, you know, just get to experience a crowd against you or a crowd for you like that. So not taking that for granted at all, not taking it for granted for all. So definitely appreciating every little moment. Going to appreciate this good bye week and getting to just rest and work with the guys, get in the film room and just try and get better. But 100%, every chance I'm getting to spend with the boys, I'm sucking it in.
When you talk about some of the inconsistencies being mental and, you know, trusting your preparation, things like that, are you surprised that's been the fact, given the experience you guys have defensively, particularly in that front seven?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. You know, on Saturdays, I'm expecting us to, like I said, go out and dominate. So on Saturdays, it definitely comes as a surprise factor because once again, I know how we practice. I mean, you ask Coach Sweeney, anybody on this team, especially the last 3 weeks, our practice has been stellar as a defense. You know, there's some weeks if practice is off, then you know we might be in trouble. But outside of, I think we had a pretty rough practice Thursday. But outside of that Thursday practice, we've had some really good practices. You know, and so when you have that good preparation, that's where the confidence comes in to know that you're ready for the moment. And so when stuff gets a little off, you know, it's like you just ask questions like, what could it be? So, like I said, that's just my hunch. Could be totally wrong, but If I'm right, then we just gotta, work to find and build that confidence. And it could be in guys who just don't have much playing experience, and I definitely understand that. When you're not out there as much, all you're doing is, learning on the practice field, and then you're thrown out in some pretty critical situations. The first thing any athlete's gonna do is think, I don't wanna mess up, because they care about the moment. But we just gotta, shift the mindset for our guys to be, I don't wanna mess up, I wanna dominate this moment, I wanna, dominate my opponent. That's where we need to try and get, because I feel like that's where we are, a lot of us are right now, is I don't wanna mess up. And we just can't attack in that mindset, you know what I'm saying? So that's what, a great bye week, we'll be able to grow from that.
Any questions on Zoom for KJ?